touch of humor and absurdity, and it is clear from what we've seen thus far, just look at their outfits, that this is exactly how Team Mocha Dick, also known as Nicole and Greg, are approaching their lives together.
Because one literary figure is never enough, we have brought Mary Oliver to join Melville with her poem, Mysteries, Yes.
Mysteries, yes. Truly we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of the lambs, how rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads.
When we see that nothing exists in itself, then even the simplest facts, like where Greg ends and Nicole begins, are a mystery. And so there is no end to what cannot be understood.
This is not a marriage of people afraid to admit ignorance. These are two people who believe that life and love are indefinable, ineffable, incomprehensible, who see that a spouse is a story we should want to know more about, but should never claim to possess or understand.
Being writers, you have each prepared a statement of vows. Embracing chance operations, as you do in your daily life when determining what books to read next, or who will take which dog's leash, or which energy bar you'll split for a snack, we will now flip a coin to see in what order vows will be presented. Head says captains first. Anna? Okay. Always wanted to do this.
What is it? Okay.
It's tails.
Okay. Cool.
Do you remember texting me a 6-word poem that was a paraphrase of Hafiz? A text you sent on a certain day in August when we lived in Fairbanks? It said, love creates synchronicity which loves loves. The love I feel for you has created synchronicity such that I now also love many of the things, people, places, animals, microbes, molecules, foods, books, and concepts that make you Greg. Our love for each other creates synchronicity that is expressed in our conjoined love of Pablo and Parka, our love of audiobooks and cheesecake, both of which I once thought were overrated. Our love is synchronized in my deep appreciation for things I liked before, but which now have special significance to me, such as cinnamon rolls, Miyazaki movies, the music of John Luther Adams. Our love is synchronized in rituals, and that synchrony is strengthened by every new breakfast poem and Pizza Friday. I'm still astounded by a revelation which dawned on me gradually over the course of the first year we spent in one another's company. The fact that each day which brings me more knowledge of you is a day I learn more about me and some of the many selves I might contain. When you and I started talking, I learned a new language, one that formed between us quickly, easily, and inevitably. Terms used by the UAF writing program, by Father Richard Rohr and George Megan, by Mary Oliver and Stevie Smith were all sprinkled throughout our dialogue. We spoke of Alaskan custard loaf, torpedoes, cheese bowls, and sweet scrambles, and knew what each tasted like, though no one else could find those foods on any menu outside our little dog-hair kingdom. The songs on your Saturday night playlist provided more fodder for codes created on my weekend visits to your cabin. And today, every book we read aloud, every podcast you put on over the speaker, continues to widen our vocabulary. The promise I want to make you now is best summed up in the words of a poem we have shared, a poem you have said should be read at your funeral. So why not also invoke it at our wedding? You know the one, Train Ride by Ruth Stone, contains my promise. It is 7 words, not 6, but sometimes synchronicity works in strange ways. It goes like this. Send what you will, I will listen. Let's spend our life listening to love together.
others love me. I know because I already do, even though you make it difficult. For instance, you'll ask me what we should do on a Saturday, and I'll say we should go to the Walker, but you'll just say modern artists are overgrown children without the discipline to develop the craft. Or what about Bookhouse, I'll say. And you'll just complain about how we already have too many books and that used books have a funny smell and you don't want to read anything beyond what's required for your degree. And then you'll argue that direct neural downloads are right around the corner anyway, and that the purpose of literature is to oppress the less literate. And that you think literature is best when it distracts the eggheads who are dumb enough to think that reading has intrinsic value. And that the meaning of life is hierarchy. And that life is but a ladder and other people are its rungs, including me. And then you'll say that the Tesla truck is the high point of Western culture. Let us love each other despite our differences of taste in art, literature, politics, philosophy, and lifestyle. Let us agree to disagree on pretty much everything, except that nothing exists in itself. But that's the sort of thing you make fun of me for saying. I get nothing but derision every time I read you something I've written, but I promise to keep reading it all to you anyway. But remember how much you mocked me for wanting to appear virtuous when I suggested spending a Saturday afternoon picking up trash around our neighborhood, whereas all you want to do is shop. Money is freedom. That's just common sense, you like to say. And that's all your parents are to you, a bank account. I wish you would text them once in a while. At least let them know you're alive. And what's wrong with the zoo? You say zoos smell even worse than used bookstores. I've never seen anyone just not get the wonder of living among other animals on this world as little as you do. But if you want to add meat to our smoothies, then that's what we'll do. And I promise to learn to accept that you just don't like dogs, despite what this video seems to suggest. And you're always applying debunked theories about wolf pack dynamics to every situation, a lecture that usually concludes with saying that I need to be more alpha. I promise to spend the rest of my life working on my posture and trying to be more assertive around other males. This is important to you. Despite what these ridiculous outfits might suggest, I know your ideal wedding is a white dress, big diamond and exotic flowers overnight shipped from South America. I'm sorry you're disappointed. So, you must really love me too, to pretend that you like this. Just as you pretend to like all the restaurants and concerts we go to. And you're so wasteful of toilet paper. The way you make a big ball of it. But love is the deepest form of compromise. Love means putting the ends ahead of the means. Nothing exists in itself because everything is a means to some better end, and love is itself a means to social power, you always say. And whenever you make coffee, you drink like 80% and leave the dregs for me, and pretend you didn't know I would want any. Also, you could help out with the dishes once in a while. And I was hoping that once we're married, you might stop making me go to the bathroom and turn on the fan just to fart where you won't hear or smell anything. So I promise I will always carry Gas X if that's what it means to be married. But seriously, let's just get this over with. Exchange rings and get on with enduring our mission-driven lives. I'm in this for the long haul. I promise to not bother savoring the small stuff anymore at the expense of the big mission, which is wealth and power and finding the right cocktail of supplements, no matter what animals have to suffer, so that we can live forever. Blessed are the unhappily married, for they shall inherit the earth. Maybe that's what we should have inscribed on our rings. I promise to endure until we do.
And embracing tradition, we'll start with Nicole, because, you flip, okay. Nicole, do you take Greg to be your lawfully wedded partner, to live together in the state of matrimony? Do you promise to honor and cherish one another, to continue to deepen your understanding of one another, and treat one another with love and compassion, in joy and pain, sickness and health, come what may? I do.
And do you, Greg, take Nicole to be your lawfully wedded partner, to live together in the state of matrimony? Do you promise to honor and cherish one another, continue to deepen your understanding of one another, and treat one another with love and compassion in joy and pain, sickness and health, come what may?
I do.
The wedding ring is the outward and visible symbol of the inward union of two people. As it encircles the finger, so should love encircle your hearts and bind you together in loyalty and understanding. These matching rings are made of 3 components.
First, mulberry wood, for your shared fondness of foraging mulberries in the summer. A fruit that nobody else seems to appreciate much, a fruit that is rarely seen for sale, a fruit that's mostly a purple staining nuisance for the rest of us, but is also a symbol of abundance, for the way the trees freely offer up their generous yield to any and all who care to partake in their gift economy.
Second, dinosaur bone, to symbolize the deepness of time and of humanity's ephemerality by contrast. A portion of these rings was once the body of a living, breathing creature. What kind of creature exactly is yet another mystery, but we know it roamed this earth some 150 million years before anyone present was born. The Jurassic animal in your rings is a reminder that life finds a way, as it has done and will do across ages.
And third, titanium, because that's just practical. And practicality might not be the cornerstone of a marriage, but it is at least a pillar.
And inscribed on the inside of these rings is a line from Moby Dick that we're now all too familiar with. Nothing exists in itself. We are humbled to remember that our existence depends on everyone and everything else, and humility is the real cornerstone of a lasting marriage. You got them?
I did.
Oh, you
have
did?
the
Okay.
rings. Yep.
So Nicole, repeat after me. With this ring I be wed,
With this ring I be wed,
and with it I pledge my honor, my love, and my devotion.
and with it I pledge my honor, my love, and my devotion.
And Greg, repeat after me. With this ring I thee wed,
With this ring I be wed,
and with it I pledge my honor, my love, and my devotion.
and with it I pledge my honor, my love, and my devotion.
Now that Nicole and Greg have exchanged marriage vows before us and all those present, and have given and pledged their love for each other, we now pronounce you captive and soaker.
And celebrate your marriage with a kiss.